All right, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, we're in the middle of OTAs. There's a lot of news flying around, but under the radar, the Cowboys made a move earlier this offseason that drew rave reviews at the time, and it looks like we're already seeing dividends being paid off. It is a great sign for the Cowboys, both for this upcoming season and the future. We'll get into that report and some very interesting data on the other side. But first, I'm Nick, that is Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, like I mentioned in the opening, middle of OTAs, a lot of news flying around, a lot of headlines, stars, rookies, new staff, energy, everything is really positive right now in Dallas. We can at least say it like that. But under the radar, the Cowboys made a big move earlier this offseason that drew rave reviews, and it's already yielding nice dividends for Dallas when it comes to one particular young player. Let's pull up the report here. It's a tweet via X, I guess we can call it these days, not Twitter. And then we'll get to some very interesting data. So this is courtesy of Nick Harris from the Fort Worth Star Telegram. Recommend you give him a follow. He's a good reporter, puts in the time. He's not one of these crazy guys just looking for attention. He does good work. So the nested tweet here is Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer had some praise for a player in need of a year two jump. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Tyler Gayton. He's having a terrific offseason. He's working his ass off. He looks great. More on Tyler Gayton. He's having a great offseason. I think some of the new things that Clayton Adams and Connor Riley have brought really fits him. He has not missed a day. He was one of the first guys back in the building. He understands how important this year is for him. I think that sentence involving Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, and really Clayton Adams, is very, very important because a lot of people looked at Guyton's performance last year, myself included, and said, not first round pick, right? We've seen first round pick Cowboys offensive linemen do great things earlier in their career. That's not what we saw from Tyler Guyton. But one of the things that's very interesting is that Clayton Adams has a history of developing offensive tackles, first round guys, and turning them into quality players. Let's go into this chart here to illustrate what I'm talking about. So this is Paris Johnson, first round offensive tackle with the Arizona Cardinals when Clayton Adams was the offensive line coach, comparing his 2023 year, his rookie season, with 2024. And you can see his overall grade, run blocking grade, pass blocking grade, his rookie year in blue, his second year, 2024, in red. You can see his first year overall in the 60s in terms of overall and run blocking grade was actually the high 50s. Pass blocking grade was also in the 60s. Mediocre season. Sounds very similar to Tyler Guyton. What did we see in year two as Clayton Adams spent more time with him? Massive spike. Overall grade through the roof. Run blocking grade through the roof. Pass blocking grade through the roof, right? This is what Clayton Adams can do. And this is why the hiring of Adams, everyone looks at Schottenheimer, offensive guy. He's taking over the offense. The Clayton Adams hiring, a lot of people were high on and said, yeah, this is a really good move. This is as important as anything. It's developing the young guys, whether it's a guy like Guyton, whether of course it's Hooker, whether it's a guy like Hoffman, whoever it may be. Like the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of young offensive linemen. Zach Martin's gone, right? Tyron Smith is gone. It's going to be completely retooling. How do we figure out the future of this group up front? And Clayton Adams is the guy to get it done. Whether it's with Booker, Hoffman, Guyton, whoever it may be, it's all about getting this offensive line heading in the right place. Schottenheimer wants his team to be physical. He wants them to run the ball. It starts with those guys up front. We can see it already with the energy around the Cowboys. We can see it with Tyler Guyton already improving. Clayton Adams, the addition of him and the coaching staff, already paying big dividends, and it should only lead to more in the weeks, months to come. All right, Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. But first, Cowboys fans, in the comment section below, as we look at this new Cowboys offensive line, right? And, obviously it's an interesting situation. We got Zach Martin gone, great career, all that kind of stuff. New offensive staff, new offensive line coach. Tyler Smith is now the de facto leader of this group. But let me ask you this question here. If you had to pick one offensive lineman over the past, let's say, 30 years that you think is the most underrated Cowboys offensive lineman. We know the big names. We know the Larry Allens, the Martins, the Smiths. Give us your most underrated Cowboys offensive lineman over the past 30 years or so. We want to hear from you guys. It's very interesting. There's a lot of names that could join that list. Put it in the comment section below. But Miles, over to you now. What are your thoughts on the impact of Clayton Adams and this young offensive line?
Yeah, Nick, I think when you look at this Cowboys offensive line, the thing that jumps off the page to me here is this is an offensive line. If you get the average age of your starting five guys is 23 years old. I mean, this is an incredibly young offensive line, and it's exciting to me that the offensive line is this young. I think when you see this group, you think of potential, you think of development, you think of what could be. And that's why I think when you bring up Clayton Adams and his ability to improve guys, that's why this hires is so instrumental. And that's why what he's being able to do something like that is so important just having a guy that is that good at developing young offensive linemen when the average age of your offensive lineman is 23, your oldest offensive lineman is Terrence Steele at 27 years old. So, I mean, that's your oldest guy. I mean, that is a young group, a super young core. I think Cowboys fans should be excited about this. Is truly any player you look at this offensive line, if they start to break out, could be the future of this offensive line unit because of how young they are. I think, like you said, Tyler Smith's the de facto guy as far as he's the leader. He's the guy that I think is going to be, the future, face of this offensive line for years to come, just because how he's done so well. He's been very consistent throughout his whole career here, and just way he's developed, I think it's been very well. But you look at the rest of this line, very, very exciting. I think there's so much to love about what is going on in Dallas. And again, Cowboys fans, I think at the beginning of the season, they've been like, we need to do more. We need to get more, and we need another tackle. We need to get guard, center. What's going on? Why aren't we getting more people? Because I think there's a plan in place. I think this was a young group, and they said, hey, instead of just like doing what everyone does and, getting a new guy, and let's look at the Baltimore Ravens. This is a team who I think does a really great job at offensive line, but you see what they've been doing the last couple of years. They've just been getting free agents and plugging them in. They play a year or two and they go somewhere else. Morgan Moses played right tackle for a few years. Boom, he's gone. Kevin Zeitler played guard for a year or two. Boom, he's gone. You keep cycling these free agents out. I don't think free agents was the right move. I think what the Cowboys is doing is the right move, because you get these young guys, put them in the offensive line, give them a year. Maybe they have a bumpy first year like Gayton. Maybe it takes a little bit time to develop. But if you let it happen and you let these guys develop, you're going to have something really special for 2, 3, 4 years. I think this is 100% the right move, how you develop offensive line. And I'm glad the Cowboys had this plan and they're seeing it all the way through. They're not pressured from any outside sources of saying, this is what we want and this is how we're going to do it.